Junior, like mom, no one waste things, son. We know like it me wrong. Me it's in a dancehall fashion. Fuck. And the one Capleton, the one Apache, and the one Ninja Man.
WEFM, the new fresh sound. Voice of the Man Bongo Prime representing for Activated Mornings on WEFM 9.
What? Stop us or call us at 457-99 on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And trust that you are doing just fine. You are ready to get going with your day, and the little things won't stress you out. All right, a person's on your life, but I understand exactly what it is. I said that. All right. So yes, we are here with you for another day. It is Dianna and Roleza, and we should be joined by Nicole this morning as well. All right, so it is Wednesday morning. We are getting very close to the end of the month. Just 2 more months to go in this year. Are you excited? Vincentians in a festive spirit for many reasons. All right. Something happened last night, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. All right.
I wonder what it was.
All right. Good morning to you, Dianna.
Morning, Roleza. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing this morning? I really, really want to know how you're feeling this morning. But hey, a pleasant morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and of course to our neighboring brethren. But a special good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yeah, whether you are here in SVG or you are in the diaspora, and you just might be coming home next month. Good morning to you. All right, so before we get into the main meat of our discussion this morning, just a few things. The cruise ship season has begun. I noticed a cruise ship was in the down today. So cruise ship season has officially opened. It is one of my better times of the year because, as I like to say, it's Christmas lights on the ocean. For those persons who are always looking at the sea, it's Christmas lights on the ocean. And so, of course, we are going to be welcome. And just continue to exhibit that Vincentian hospitality that we are so well known for. All right, anything from you before we go into it?
As you're mentioning Vincentian hospitality that we're looking for, I can't help but remember the poll that was conducted, or something the other day that was conducted that said Jamaicans are the most friendly, and I think the most friendly or welcoming, but definitely the most friendly in the Caribbean, and yeah, it just took me back to that.
And speaking of Jamaica, of course, our thoughts are with many persons who are either from Jamaica itself or even our Vincentians who are in Jamaica for whatever reason. And we know that Hurricane Melissa passed through there yesterday, and significant damage was done to the island. So, of course, our thoughts and prayers will continue to go out to all those persons who are in Jamaica at this time. And it almost feels like when I was looking at the news this morning before coming in, it almost feels like, I guess every year now we're going to be asking which Caribbean island is going to be affected, because it almost feels that way, It almost feels like at least one is going to be affected every year. So I guess it's just for us to maybe just brace ourselves in whatever way best we can, because really and truly you could try brace yourself all you want, you know, when something is to happen, it's going to happen. But as well, let's interact with morning, Nicole.
Morning.
Yes, how are you?
I am good. Watching on at everything. There's so much going on. And you're correct. You know, it's always which island next and which is it important. It's imperative to speak about climate issues. It is. It comes upon us. We don't know who it's going to affect next. We don't know how. And so it really has to be in the fore of our dialogue. It has to be. Only last month, you know, I was at the conference, and it's important to keep these conversations going, because sometimes when we're in dire straits, that's when we really think it's happening. But it has to be. You can't be too prepared, but you cannot be left unprepared.
True. All righty. So, Vince's, are you festive this morning? Some of you been festive since last night because the memes have started. If there's one thing we love to do is create a meme. All right. So,
what has man? The life.
What do you do?
As long as you put your X next to the star.
All right. So for those who did not know, the date for the election was announced last night. So let's hear it from, they say hear it from the horse's mouth, but I don't always like that too. So let's hear it directly from the individual who made the announcement.
Her Excellency the Governor General to dissolve Parliament with immediate effect this evening, October the 28th, 2025. Her Excellency has accepted her Prime Minister's advice and has issued the necessary instrument, the proclamation to be published of the dissolution of Parliament as of tonight. All consequential, constitutional, and legal matters have been put in train for general elections. General elections will be held on Thursday, November the 27th, 2025.
So that was the announcement that election is going to be held on Thursday. Oh Lordy, it is going to be held on Thursday, the 27th of November. All right, and this was the reaction of the opposition at their meeting when they heard of the date.
Let's make sure we check the date. That the very next day. Hold on. Wait. The 27th is a Thursday. The next day is Friday.
All right. So as most of us normally expect, hey now, first of all, let me say, right? We expected the election to be announced on a Thursday, or for the date to be on a Thursday. But it's always funny to me when it's on a Thursday because of what it could mean for on the Friday, right? Because for me, all right, let me get it together. Let me ask you this. I always chuckle at it because is it going to be a day of rejoicing if the NDP wins? Because you have true reasons to celebrate Friday on a Friday, all right? So this is why it is that I'm always laughing at this whenever we have elections on a Thursday. And let it be known, both sides, all right? Vincentians already made up their mind to have a public holiday on the Friday, yes? So whichever side win, please to note, people have already started to make plans for their Friday being a public holiday, okay? All right, so what are your thoughts?
Well, it was good to know that that part of the mystery has been solved. The other part now is who people are going to vote. People know when exactly they're going to vote. Just to make up their minds, if you haven't made up your mind as yet, you have about a month to do so, to finally decide on who you're going to vote for and to make sure that your decision is the best decision that you can make. You know, things to vote for, things not to vote for, the things that you've been encouraged to look for, you know, accountability, integrity, competence, and things like that. And things that you're not supposed to look for, like is it a male or a female, that doesn't matter. Who they're with, that doesn't matter unless they're with a child. You know, we don't promote those things. So, you know, you don't look at that. You don't look at their skin color, the length of their hair. Those are not things that you look for in voting for a politician. How nice they dress, their height. You don't look for those things, you know, if people like them or people don't like them. Those are trivial things. As well as party loyalty. You know, this thing that we call party loyalty, I feel like that wasn't really supposed to be a thing. But we've made it to this point where you're supposed to be loyal to your party, that if I vote for this party, I'm supposed to stay committed to this party. And if I change over, I betray my party and things like that. But that really isn't supposed to be the case. You don't necessarily have to be loyal to any party. You are there to choose the person that you think is best suited to govern you. And that really has nothing to do with loyalty. Because I mean, if you take your relationships as an example, sometimes you are loyal to boyfriends and girlfriends and friends who, you know, after a while you have to just cut ties with them because the relationship wasn't working out. So it's not about your loyalty, but it's about who is best suited to run the country.
Oh, look at you. And Dianna is absolutely correct, you know, and as I said before, I started saying what I said ever since I've come in is what are the things that people look for when they are voting for candidates, all right? And but more importantly, I think, but even before we get to that point of determining who we're going to vote for, we have to remind persons, you could be as vocal as you want on social media, because I know some of you don't start, all right? As vocal as you want on social media, as vocal as you want on the airways. But if you are not a part of the process, do you actually have a right to be as vocal as you are? All right. So you have to go and make sure that you are registered to vote. You also have to know how it is to mark your X properly. You also need to know the opening hours for the polling stations. All right.
It's not a cursive X.
Y'all have to take this thing seriously, because you're going to the rallies, you're chanting, you're doing this and doing that to support your party. But if you're not a part of the process, should your voice even count? That voice that we actually hear, right? Or that typing voice that we see on social media, should it actually count? Because too many of you are keyboard warriors. You're out there, you're blasting this and you're blasting that. But when it comes time for you to actually match that expert supposed to go, some of you stay in home, all right? Democratic society, you could talk as much as you want about who you're supporting, right? Let's say, I don't know, you because I know, like in some office environments, some persons go along with the consensus just to not be able to create any kind of tension, because it's and easy when you advise certain things among family members, among co-workers. I mean, really, truly, it's nobody's business but your own, you know. But you have to, you can go on out, you can cast that ballot, and it is going to be secret. Nobody knows who you're voting for. All right. So let's all do the right thing. Be a part of the process. Double check to make sure that you are registered. Young people in particular, all of these parties, well, not all, the two parties in particular have been raising issues with regards to your future as young people. Yes, is wanting for them to throw off these events and throw off these rallies and bringing in big name artists. It's your attention that they're trying to get. All right. So you have to go on out and do the right thing, because they're doing it. Well, I mean, it's for everybody else's future, but yours in particular, right? Because you know, some of us a little older, right? But it's for your future in particular. So yeah, Ting-a-ling-a-ling, the bell has rung. All right, ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring. Ralph and Friday a fight for something. Breaker. All right, yeah, with that, we are heading on out. Time for an SPG. It is 7:35.